Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Tapia, and I'm going to be talking about the importance of having compassion for individuals with substance use disorders. In understanding substance use disorders, we learn that there are certain communities that are more prone to developing these disorders. Usually, it's marginalized communities. What are marginalized communities? Marginalized communities are people such as the LGBTQ community, Latinos, Mexican Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans, people of low income. These communities are more prone to developing substance use disorders. So, how, if they're not receiving compassion, what are they receiving? Marginalized communities are more prone to face institutional oppression, racism, prejudice, harassment, being seen as a number, being labeled at, and having no choice or say in the services in their treatment. So it is important to be compassionate and understanding and building trust with these communities and showing them that you are not like society, most people in society, and that you have compassion. Doing this will help you build trust with your client. If they're part of these marginalized communities, it will help you obtain more probability of having a successful treatment outcome. The next thing I want to talk about is cultural competence. So, and having compassion in understanding your client's culture and what's important and what's important to them. Um, when developing a treatment plan for an individual, it is important to incorporate what their values and their beliefs are. What does their culture feel is an appropriate way to get help for their substance use disorder? What is their personal belief on how to get help and how to go about their treatment? We learn that it is very important that the client has a partnership with the therapist in order for the treatment to have a successful outcome. The only way you're going to be able to build this collaborative relationship with the client is being compassionate and being understanding on the client's culture. Yet even if it's a culture that you don't understand or you don't necessarily agree with, it is still important to understand that it is the client's journey and it is the client's decision, and they should have a say, and you should be compassionate to what their values are in order for you guys to build a treatment plan together. So it's not so much just the therapist, but it's also the client that is having a say, and their culture is being valued. And this will increase your cultural competence by through experience. Trauma informed care is another aspect that I want to talk about. And the statistics of a client experiencing some form of trauma in their life is very likely. Approximately 75% of people with an SUD will experience some sort of trauma, which means the clinicians need to be trauma informed, which means you want to minimize the risk of re traumatization. You don't want the client to experience any more trauma. You want to help them get over their traumas and feel something completely different than trauma. And what can that be? Obviously, compassion. Compassion is going to show the client that not everything, not everyone is out to get them. Not everyone is going to hurt them. That there is good people out there that are compassionate and understanding. And this will help build a sense of safety, trustworthiness, a feeling of collaboration, and empowerment with you and the client. a client is not going to want to work with somebody that does not have compassion and that is more prone to re-traumatizing them through certain techniques. And it is important to have compassion with clients that have probably experienced some sort of trauma in their life. So how are we going to have compassion throughout the treatment process? So it is important to have compassion at every aspect of treatment, even from the receptionist. It all starts with first contact. When somebody walks in, what's the feeling, the ambiance that is felt in the facility? Are they being listened to? Are people showing interest in their care? So does everybody in the facility understand what being compassionate is? And are there stereotypes out the door? And are they understanding and knowledgeable about the importance of compassion within the treatment process? So it really starts from first contact. Even the receptionist should be compassionate. You cannot have a receptionist that is rude and that has stereotypes. They need to be trauma informed as well. Not just the counselors, not just the clinical administrator. Everybody needs to be trauma informed and understand the importance of compassion. When we talk about institutional oppression, this is when communities don't want to enter certain facilities because they're scared that people are gonna ridicule or ridicule them because of their beliefs or being part of a certain community. So it is important that a sense of acceptance and compassion is established from day one, from the moment they enter a facility. So through the assessment, how can you have compassion through the assessment, the counseling sessions, treatment follow-ups? So when you are asking questions with the client, you're going to ask some pretty sensitive questions, and it's important to let them know, to let the client know, hey, like, I'm going to ask some personal questions. If you don't feel comfortable in answering, it's totally okay. What can make you feel comfortable in answering these questions, and just kind of giving them a warning about the sensitive topics that are going to be talked about. And that is having compassion in the assessment process. It is warning the client about the questions that are going to be asked, letting them know about the confidentiality rules, about the whole process, and teaching and educating the client about the things and how the treatment is going to go and how important it is for them to have a say in their treatment as well. So it is important for compassion to happen, not only in the workplace, but to practice it in your daily life, not just at work. Compassion can happen and change and make an impact in your life, starting from your personal relationships, from going to the gym to in the grocery store. Like, it's important to have compassion and practice it on a daily basis, 24/7, with your spouse, with your siblings, with your mother. The best way to incorporate compassion in your workplace and when treating clients with substance use disorder is to practice it in your daily life.